Hey, so this is a really common question I get around lab testing. What kind of tests do I do and how are they different from the medical doctor as well as any other natural practitioners that you have gotten testing done through? So as it comes to, as it goes for the natural, any alternative healthcare provider, it's like functional medicine doctors, other naturopaths, or anyone else that you have done tests with, functional tests, I can't really speak for what labs they run because honestly, we're all very different and it just depends on what each person's system is and what they have found works for them. So the labs that I run are the labs that I find help me find out the information that I need to know to get down to the root cause of your fertility problems. Every practitioner is going to be a little bit different. Just like if you go into a gym and you get a personal trainer, the next gym you go to will have a very different personal trainer. So we all have our kind of personalities and characteristics and things that we have worked out to have provided results for us. So it's up to you as a patient coming in to figure out if this practitioner aligns with your goals and you feel a strong connection with this practitioner. That's really kind of my guidance in terms of helping you figure out if this is going to be the path for you. As it goes for conventional medical doctors, they don't really have access to the functional labs. So the labs that they run are going to be very different. Their labs are much more diagnostic. So they're looking for a diagnosis for your infertility issues. And if they can't find a diagnosis, for example, if there's no endometriosis or your fallopian tubes are not blocked or you don't have polycystic ovaries, then you get the diagnosis of unexplained infertility. Where in the conventional medical world, we have a lot of explanations for the unexplained infertility because we do functional lab testing. Yeah, we do some diagnostic tests as well, but really the conventional medical doctors are the ones are doing that. The functional lab testings are telling us about the function of your body. So there's no such thing as a normal functional test, meaning that there's ranges for optimization. And if you're testing like your stool analysis, you're looking at the gut flora. So you might have pathogenic bacteria in there like candida and yeast and viruses and parasites, things that are just not supposed to be there. You might have inability to be able to digest your proteins and fats. Maybe you're not even absorbing the fats at all. And so they're showing up in your stool. You have an inflammation in the gut. All those things, there isn't a diagnosis, but it's just telling us what's going on in the gut. So those are the kind of tests that I run. And to kind of answer the question is what labs do I run will really depend on what's going on with you. So it's not just about running every single lab test under the sun. It's really about understanding what is your symptoms, what is your history, what is your current state, what have you already tested, what have you already tried, and then finding out the missing link. Because what the labs should do is provide a very clear roadmap of what to do next. So again, if you've been following me for a while, I always say test, don't guess. If you're just on supplements and you have no idea why you're on those supplements and somebody told you it's because they help to improve your egg quality or they will help to improve your partner's sperm quality, that's great. But we really need to figure out why that sperm quality isn't good. And even deeper questions to like, oh, I have PCOS and I have endometriosis or I have fibroids. Great. Why do you have those things? Why do you have the hormone imbalance? If you have really high estrogen, that is well known to cause fibroids and endometriosis and really heavy, painful periods, then we still need to figure out why that imbalance is there. And so the testing that I do, there's some tests that I do to find out what's going on in the body and other tests I do to tell us why those things are going on in the body. So for example, if you're running a hormone panel, that's going to show you the imbalance, but it's not going to tell you why that imbalance is there. So let me share some of the sample reports that I have to give you a better idea of what it is that I run. So please note that all of these are sample reports. Let me just widen my screen here. Here we go. So the number one and most common test that I run and that most people do not is your actual stool analysis that shows us what is going on with the bacteria in your gut. So how diverse is your bacteria and how much of the bacteria do you have? Is it a good balance? And we need to have a good balance. We're also looking at Pathogens. Okay, looks like, for example, this person has H. pylori. They also have some Clostridium, so they actually have an infection going on. And then the Shigella infection as well, which could be really, really detrimental for fertility. You're going to see some inflammatory markers, of course, when there's infection going on. And you're also going to see things like not being able to digest food properly. There's meat fibers that are present, which means that the person is not absorbing meat. They're not digesting meat. And then you could see fat, so on and so forth. So this test is probably one of the most detailed tests, and it will show you everything that's going on in the gut. And like I said, I've never seen a test that says everything is normal. Okay, we all have something going on. Even myself, after years and years of working on things, that your health is a moving target. So it's not just something that once, it's like going to the gym. Again, once you figured out how to get fit, you're not just going to stay fit for life without doing anything. You always constantly have to still show up at the gym and do the workouts. This is the same thing for your health. So if this is the next question in the next training about if your doctor's saying everything is normal, it just means we're not looking at everything. So the gut zoomer is number one. The next one that I typically do, and again, it depends on patient's history, is I'll do the Dutch report, which is a very comprehensive hormone analysis report, and it shows us how you're metabolizing hormones. So blood will show us what's happening this moment in time, where this is a urine analysis. So it is timed in your cycle. You have to do it on a specific day of your cycle. So we can see how you're metabolizing and breaking down hormones. So for example, this person has really high estrogen and low progesterone, and it's unlikely that they're actually ovulating in this based on this. So again, there's ways to figure it out and to do testing at home and through blood to confirm if there's ovulation or not. But this just really helps to understand that, hey, this person is actually super duper stressed, and that's possibly why they're not ovulating. And so we need to get this cortisol under control. And, it will also show you how you're breaking down your estrogens. If it's this blue is a sign this person probably has fibroids, has really heavy periods, really painful periods, and a lot of clotting, maybe even fibrocystic breasts. So all of these things can be explained. And also these enzymes, this is how your body is breaking down the estrogen, and we can shift it in a direction with supplementation, with food. And this is why when people say I have high estrogen, I really want to know more detail, because it's just not enough information and we don't know what's going on with that estrogen. It will also tell you melatonin and cortisol levels and some nutrient levels as well. Now, both of these tests are more telling us what's going on in the body. The environmental toxic panel is really when we start to look at why things are happening in the body, because environmental toxins are this kind of hidden cause of infertility and a lot of our health issues, including our hormone imbalances like PCOS and endometriosis. And reason being is the body, it's trying to get rid of them, it's trying to protect you. So it either forms fibroids or cysts or, benign tumors, if you will, to protect your tissue from these harmful chemicals. And some of these chemicals will actually, like BPA, it mimics estrogen. So it will actually raise our own estrogen levels. And then if our gut is inflamed and we're not getting rid of that estrogen, you're just, spiraling out of control. So the environmental toxins, these are things that you find in food, water, air, the products that you use, the plastics, basically everything around us. I also look really into heavy metals. Heavy metals are crucial for fertility for both male and female, because we can store these in our tissue. The male can actually have these in their DNA and their sperm. So it's really important to look at these. I'll look at mold. Mold is huge right now and will actually make people very, very sick. It attacks the mitochondria. And if you have been in the fertility space for a while, you know how important mitochondria is for the quality of the egg. The quality of the egg is really just the quality of your mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. So you need good functioning mitochondria. So if you have a lot of mold in your system, then your mitochondria is going to suffer, and therefore the quality of the egg and the sperm are going to suffer. I also test organic acids, and that's really just how you metabolize how you metabolizing, so how your vitamins and nutrients are being metabolized. So sometimes we get a backlog of things. So there's a buildup of a certain nutrient or nutrient metabolite that can cause a lot of issues. And sometimes we don't have enough of a certain nutrient for an enzymes to work. So this is just to give you a gist of basically some of the things that I test. And I know it looks like a lot, but typically it's 2, maybe 3 tests. And then the way that they, in the labs, the way that they're actually looking at the test, they'll break it down into these 4 or 5 different graphs. So it's not confusing for us to interpret. Point being is, I, as a practitioner, my process is to sit down, take down your history, take down what tests, and look through the tests that you have already done, because we don't want to repeat things without actually truly understanding if whatever the treatment protocol you've done before has worked or not. But the point here is to provide you with answers. So once we sit down and have that initial consultation and take your full history and look at the past, of your past medical history and what you've done for testing before, if you've done anything, then we can really figure out what tests do we need to do in order to provide you with the answers that you are looking for. Because sometimes we need to do things like genetic testing, and sometimes we need to do the hormones, the environmental, the gut, sometimes the micronutrient testing. Again, it really depends on what's going on with you. But I hope you found this video helpful, and we're going to keep answering your most frequently asked questions. So if there's anything that you want to know, go ahead and throw it in the comments below, and I'll make a quick little video on it.